Angela Merkel is Germany's first female leader and very much a woman of her time. She's both reassuringly conventional and an enigma. She grew up in East Germany before the fall of the Berlin Wall and speaks Russian better than any other foreign language. She's a scientist by training, but climbed quickly up the ranks of the centre-right Christian Democrat Party after German unification. She was first the protégée of Chancellor Helmut Kohl. For most of her time in office, Merkel has governed in a grand coalition with the main opposition party, the SPD, Germany's equivalent of Labour. She'll be remembered for steering Germany through crises relatively unscathed. It remains one of the richest countries in Europe.
When she came to power, the German political system was intensely male. And in the end, she showed that she had the staying power, the determination, and the grit to outlast all the men who were there at the time she became Chancellor.
She continued the economic reforms of her socialist predecessor. And as the biggest player in the European Union, she saved the euro while putting Germany's interest first. Her attitude to the rest of the world is balanced. Germany still underspends on defence, but joined the NATO forces in Afghanistan. She resisted David Cameron's attempts to charm her with visits to Chequers and box sets of Midsummer Murders, denying him the renegotiation, which he thought could defeat Brexit.
This is one of the things she really understood from the beginning, the complexity of Europe, of 27 or 28 nations working together, and you have to find compromises, and that you will not get something unless you give something really big back. And the Brits were not willing to give something back.
She was openly disdainful of populists like President Donald Trump and decided to stay on as Chancellor after his election.
Wir schaffen das. Wir schaffen das.
We can do it, she told her people. Far from ending freedom of movement, her most dramatic act was to agree to admit more than 1 million refugees during Europe's migrant crisis of 2015. After 16 years in office, Angela Merkel is retiring, the most dominant European politician of this century so far.